And just like that, we should be live. Hopefully y'all can hear me all right. Let me get out a tweet saying that we're live aurora chasing. Back at it again. Back out in the for tonight. We already had a good substorm that sparked up right as I got here. I didn't have the camera set up though, so I missed that one, but hopefully we can get another good one here to kind of get things back up and running. But hopefully y'all are doing well this evening. I know this was kind of a spur of the moment, last minute stream. Hopefully the connection's working all right. Let me just get some final little bits organized and we should be good to go. Doing some last minute tinkering here. How does the camera look to all you guys? Does the camera look good? Can you guys hear me all right? It's been a while since I've rocked this setup, so hopefully everything's doing all good. I'm just trying to get some tweets out that were live. Add that to Facebook. Get that on the Twitter world. Get everything. I got caught flat-footed a little bit. That substorm sparked up right as I got here. I didn't have all my cameras organized. But hopefully you guys are, you're hearing me all right. Peachy Loves, good to see ya. Glad you could make it over here from Levi's channel. We have one of our channel members, Michelle Steffen. Thank you guys for tuning in, appreciate it. I know this was kind of a spur of the moment, last minute stream here. I'm still just trying to get everything organized nicely, but I believe we should be all good. Yeah, glad you guys are tuning in tonight. Hopefully y'all are ready to get some, hopefully we can get some nice aurora action in front of the stream for you guys. I'm just trying to adjust this camera so that it fits that window nicely. It isn't all wonky. Doing some last minute fixes with the live stream, but Michelle's been a channel member for 2 months. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support you guys have been giving me. I know the streams have been a little bit sparse, but that's what happens when you are sent off to school. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to do some live streams, but we're back for this weekend, and wouldn't you know it, we got some nice auroras going on for us tonight. And we just had some not too long ago. So hopefully they spark up again, and we can get some more action in front of the cameras for you guys. I'm just trying to get my final messages out to the world before I deep dive into the stream. Post that. But I think we're all set. We are rocking and rolling. Crazy how fast it's been already. Yeah, we've been off to some action. I'm gonna plug this camera's battery in, just so that it's all set. I'm testing out some new live streaming stuff, so that we can hopefully use it for the 2024 storm season. So hopefully it all works out. I close this, will the... I broke the camera. I closed it on accident. We're all good though. Accidentally turned it off. Oops. Okay. We're all good. Everything should be squared away. Kind of where it needs to be. We're just gonna roll with it. I think is the plan. See what we get. Yeah, we appreciate all you guys tuning in tonight. We're locked and loaded for some nice aurora action. Hopefully we get another good substorm here to kind of spur up some more activity. That first substorm happened really fast. It was a quick hitter. It was in and out within 5 minutes. So didn't really have time to get the stream all set up in that brief time. But now we're rolling. I'm gonna turn down the ISO just a little bit so the image isn't as grainy. Are we echoing? Let me try to fix that. Y'all are gonna have to be my ears a little bit. I can't hear the stream. So hopefully the echo is... Is the echo fixed, guys? Sorry, I didn't mean to be echoing on you, but we've made it. Woo! We're back aurora chasing. If you look off towards this tree over in this direction, throughout the next hour or so, you may be able to see some red hues that begin to appear. Those are going to be our auroras. That's just what happened right before I had the stream camera set up. We had a big explosion of red on the horizon here. It filled the whole sky, and now it's gone quiet. But that means we are rebuilding hemispheric power, which is a measure of energy that we need to spark the auroras. And once that energy gets released, then the light show begins. So we're just waiting for the energy to kind of get rebuilt so that we can get some more action here in front of the cameras. That's kind of the game plan right now. But right now things have quieted down. The only way to see the auroras is just kind of with your phone. You hold your phone camera up to that part of the sky, you can faintly see some pinks, but it's really, really subtle. You have to really be keened in to be able to see it. But hopefully soon we get another substorm that'll get some action for us. But yeah, I can post the link to my tweet that had the photo of the auroras so that you guys can kind of see what it looked like a little bit ago, just before I had the stream camera set up. It's been so long since I've done a live stream like this that my computer decided now was a great time to update right as I was trying to get the live stream running. But we're all good now. Things are kind of squared away. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. We're going to have a good time and enjoy the show. I'm going to finish setting up my time lapses here. I already have one time lapse running. I got another one that I want to get set up here. Another good thing about that it's November now is we have a lot of dark skies. It was sunset at 4:30 p.m. It's not going to be rising until 6 a.m. So we have plenty of time to sit back and enjoy the show. And it's a weekend, so don't got anything going on tomorrow. You can stay up here all night and enjoy the festivities. That's kind of my plan. I'm just trying to get all my stuff organized here. I was caught flat-footed a little bit. It's been so long since I've done one of these, but we're locking in, chat. We're locking in. Was caught so flat-footed that I forgot my wireless microphone. So when I go out there to set up the cameras, I'm going to have to step away from the camera for a bit, so you won't be able to hear me. But don't worry, I'm not leaving you guys behind. I'll be right back. I'm just kind of getting all my stuff rolling so that when it comes time to edit these in their nice, full 4K color-corrected form, you guys can enjoy them in all their glory. Levi's in here and Mr. McKinney's in here. How's it going, guys? Great to see you. Glad you could tune in tonight. You just missed the show, or I just missed the show because I was fumbling around with cameras, but we just had a nice spark of the auroras earlier before the stream started. And fingers crossed that we can get some more action going. We're still early in the night. That aurora oval is still pretty far north, but throughout tonight, that aurora oval is going to push its way south, and we're going to have a great shot of it here from southern Wisconsin once the activity gets rolling again. I'm just kind of getting my camera set back up here so that when things do get going, we're ready to roll and we'll be capturing it the best way possible. But yeah, you can see those greens on the horizon there. That's kind of the where the auroras are hanging out right now. That's really quiet at the moment, but it won't be long before we start to get some action here. But yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to Mr. McKinney and Levi, you guys are missing out on some good stuff. Two of the best live streamers in the chat here tonight. You guys should definitely go check them out. The boys are in here. Yeah, Levi's a up-and-coming streamer, so if you guys want to support the new generation of meteorologists, he's definitely going to be your guy to check out. And if you want some incredible storm coverage from out in the field, Mr. McKinney, one of the best storm chasers on the planet here. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Awesome that you guys are here supporting the stream tonight. It means a lot for me having some of my bros in chat tonight. We need some W's in chat for Mr. McKinney here. Yeah, from what I've seen, no one else has done an aurora live stream like this. You guys are seeing a kind of a first of its kind type thing. We did another stream like this back on August 11th. We had a major G4 geomagnetic storm where the auroras were overhead all night long. It was incredible. We were live that night for 4 hours, streaming the auroras so that people could get out there. They saw the live stream, they realized, oh, the northern lights are going on, and this stream is right in my backyard. So people were able to get out and enjoy the show for themselves. So hopefully, when things spark up tonight, you have the opportunity to get out there and see some of the magic that could be brewing. So, fingers crossed we get a good show. I have a feeling we will, since things are looking nice right now. They've quieted down for a little bit, but the data is still solid. I'm gonna have to step away from the camera for a bit to set up a time lapse, but I'll be right back. guys. Don't worry, not leaving you behind. Just had to get a time lapse rolling. But yeah, here we go. I'm gonna have to turn the camera a little bit more since the auroras have kind of moved on us. They're more to the left now. But they're there. I don't know how well they'll be able to pick them up, but there is still that kind of faint red hue above the tree line. That's our auroras. They're really, really faint right now. But if we can get a substorm, they're gonna kick right up. So let's see how long it takes for this substorm to get rolling again. Hopefully not long. Yeah. All the satellite data is still looking good too. So we're in great shape. We're the only ones out here. Got this field all to ourselves. We got a nice, stable internet connection, surprisingly, in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. We have our time lapses rolling. We are as locked in can be. Yeah, it's not super bright right now, but give it time and we may have some action. I'm going to set up one final time lapse. I always like to set up a context shot, just kind of a wide angle that shoots a photo every like 10 seconds or so. That kind of captures kind of what we're doing throughout the evening. It's a fun little behind the scenes thing to look at. But yeah, if we get something good, channel members, you guys will have the first look at whatever it is we capture tonight. Yeah, that faint green hue, that's our auroras. They're not really doing much right now, but they're definitely visible to the camera. And same with that red. It's really, really faint at the moment, but still early in the evening. Hopefully it won't be long before things kind of get rolling again. Yeah, if you guys want to see more of this, be sure to like the stream up, like and subscribe, because there's going to be more of this year. The auroras are not going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm sure we'll have other weekends where I'll be able to get home and show you guys the light show. And even if not, you guys can still follow my my Twitter and Instagram. Anytime I'm out aurora chasing but I can't go live, I'm posting updates on there so that you guys kind of know what's going on. Keeping y'all in the loop with this stuff is kind of what I like to do, so that you can get out there and enjoy the show. Also, little pro tip, if you're going to go aurora chasing, pack an extra layer. I have a long sleeve shirt sitting in here because it's supposed to get down into the 30s tonight. So, preparation is key. I'm going to take this tripod head off. Got this little tripod bit. We'll attach the smaller tripod. And we'll be good to go. going to make sure this camera's in focus, and then it'll, this will be our behind the scenes camera right here. This little guy, going to set it up on a intervalometer, take a photo every couple seconds. We'll stitch that together into a nice time lapse, and we'll be able to see kind of the fun behind the scenes of me running back and forth through here as a Flash-esque blur. Yeah, have any of you, if you guys in chat, I'm curious, how many of you have ever seen the Northern Lights before? Because it seems like this year has been a lot of people's first experience getting out to see them. So, if you guys have seen them before, put it in the chat here and we'll kind of go through our aurora experiences. My first ever time seeing the Northern Lights was back in November of 2021. I was, what year was that? That was my sophomore year of high school. I was just kind of, I saw there might I was trying to teach myself the basics of Northern Lights forecasting. And I saw one night that the data looked kind of promising. So I went out there not really knowing what I was doing, and I managed to capture a really quick time lapse of the pillars on the horizon. It wasn't anything super special, but it was fun to see them for the first time and be able to get some nice photos of them. And then from there I was completely hooked. I was like, alright, I gotta keep going at this, because this is way too cool. And now here we are, in the middle of a field, taking photos. As you do. The usual progression. Kind of going out there, having fun, and then you end up in the middle of a field with a car full of camera equipment. I'm trying to think of a good spot. Right here, how about that? See how it looks, and then we'll get it rolling. We'll probably have to turn the lights off. The line that too. It's not blinded up here. That's fine. All right, we're back. Just kind of getting cameras put away. Finally caught a live stream. Pico Nick, how's it going? Glad you could make it to the stream tonight. We're out hunting some auroras. Things are quiet right now, but probably won't be long before we have something kind of sparking up on the horizon here. Just waiting for a substorm to get rolling. We've had a few little quick ones that kind of come up and then quiet down, but we're waiting for a nice big one to really get things rolling. We had one earlier this evening, but things are kind of quiet right now. They've quieted down. Let's take a look at our satellite data. What's going on up there? It's still just kind of charging up. This is what's going on. Our auroras are rebuilding their energy that they lost in that first substorm. So over time, we'll probably see them start to move south. It won't be long before we have another nice uptick in activity. Alright, stream. Live in Wapaka County, not seeing anything over here, and it's clear skies. Yeah, the auroras are quiet right now. We just had before the stream started, we had a nice kind of red substorm that lit up the sky for a good 15 minutes or so. But things have kind of quieted down right now. We're waiting for that energy to push those auroras far south to kind of rebuild, and once that energy is built back up, we should have another nice substorm to push the auroras far south so that you guys can see them on the camera. It's a waiting game right now. It's a game of patience is what we're doing. Alright, chat. Let's see. Yeah, things are still just kind of building back up. What I might be able to do is I might be able to switch this scene over to the Space Weather Live website briefly so that I can kind of explain to you guys kind of what we're seeing. Let me get organized here and we can do that. Let's see. Space weather. Some data. Even meter. Alright. I'm going to switch away from the live camera briefly. I'm going to give you guys a quick explanation of kind of what we're waiting for, kind of what we're watching. Let me get I zoomed in too far. Let's switch scenes here. So basically, what we're looking for is, we're watching this graph right here. This is our GOES magnetometer. Essentially what we're watching is this part of it here where the graph is trending down on the right side. Hopefully you guys can see that kind of down over here. What this means is that we have energy building up in our planet's magnetosphere, and once that magnetosphere kind of builds up enough energy, it has to release it at some point. So when that energy release occurs, what's going to happen is we're going to have we're going to have a large release of energy. But when we get a large release of energy, what happens is you have things like light and heat and all sorts of things that are the byproducts of releasing energy. So once this energy that's built up gets released, that's how you get the northern lights. Kind of a quick science lesson for what we're watching. Yeah, that's kind of the nitty-gritty behind the scenes of what's going on out here. It takes some patience and it takes time for that energy buildup to kind of get going. But once it gets there, we should be in for a nice show. Let's see. Let's see what's going down. Best aurora I've seen was about 15 years ago while sitting in a cornfield talking on my ham radio. Yeah, we had a couple good events this year. There was the big one that happened May 10th. That was the first G5 geomagnetic storm since 2003. And that night I was out at this same spot just kind of taking photos. And I was here for probably a good 7-8 hours just staring straight up at the sky. It was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. The whole sky was just lit up green and pink. There was another one this year on August 11th. That was my birthday. We were doing a live stream, and that geomagnetic storm reached G4. And same thing, the entire night was just overhead auroras. The sky was shades of orange and yellow. And then this recently, in October, we had two G4 geomagnetic storms. One of them was kind of on the weaker end. It pushed the auroras very far south, but we didn't get overhead. The second one, we had overhead auroras for a good hour or so. So we've had some good aurora events this year. Hello, fellow cheeseheads. When is the aurora supposed to be visible? Will we see reds and purple? We're watching. It's hard to say exactly when the auroras will come out, but we did have a nice kind of uptick in activity before the stream started. We're just kind of waiting for energy to get rebuilt in the magnetosphere so that when another energy release occurs, it's just as vibrant as the first one to kind of get a good light show going. Right now, we're just kind of waiting. You can see those shades of green on the very far horizon there. Those are our auroras right now. They've kind of receded at the moment, but hopefully within the next hour or two, we should get another substorm that'll hopefully push the auroras back south. And hopefully we can get a nice show with hopefully some of those reds and purples that you're hoping for. We had the one that we had earlier had some nice shades of red in it. Unfortunately, it was the time that my computer decided I'm going to update right now, so I couldn't get the live stream rolling in time. We're just kind of sitting and waiting now for things to recoup and reload. I'm gonna check on my my time lapse over here. See how it's going. see. What are we gonna get? Is she gonna give it up to us? Hopefully so. I'm gonna close this door so there's less light spilling out into the field. What's your favorite Wisconsin cheese? I'm a classic cheddar fan. Can't beat Wisconsin cheddar. It's the best cheese, and I am willing to take that to the grave. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. It's very rare that I have a hard stance on a opinion like that, but that's one of the few opinions that I am firm on. There was no debating it. Wisconsin, nice Wisconsin cheddar. Yeah, that. What are your guys' favorite cheeses? Yo, what's... Answer, following up with Mr. McKinney's question, what are your guys' favorite cheeses? Put them in chat. We're gonna see who has the best taste in cheese. Any Wisconsin cheese, all cheeses, good choices. Mr. McKinney, if I see you out in the plains this year, I'll be sure to bring you and Freddie a nice block of Wisconsin cheddar as a token of my gratitude. A gift from the far-off lands of Wisconsin. Because as we all know, Wisconsin is such a mystical place. A mystical place of a German heritage. Oh, here comes somebody. Someone's coming down the road. It's the first car I've seen here all night. It's very rare that I see a car on this road. It's a rarity. The past, 4 times I've shot auroras here, that's only the second car I've ever seen come down this road. It is off the beaten path. Pepper jack is a solid choice. Pepper jack is a good cheese. That's in my my top 3. Smoked Gouda. I've never had smoked Gouda before. Extra sharp cheddar, solid choice. Pepper jack, Swiss. I'm not a big Swiss fan, I must say. I know that's a bit of a hot take. I've never been a big Swiss cheese enjoyer. It has its don't get me wrong. There is stuff that Swiss cheese just goes with. It's just a given. If you're not having Swiss cheese with one of my favorite things to have Swiss cheese with is the restaurant I work at. We used to have these burgers that were these just monstrous mounds of beef patty, 2 pieces of Swiss cheese, sauteed mushrooms and onions. Swiss cheese on that was the way to go. Garlic bread cheese. Solid choice. Can't go wrong with some garlic bread. REBROADCAST? I don't know how to pronounce that cheese. I've never heard of it before. This is a new discovery. Best of view auroras with a clear view to the north? Yes, it is. It's nice. The northern lights, it's easy to know where to look because the direction they happen is in the name. So. Picked up my bag of Dew Point cheddar cheese curds. Can't go wrong with some curds. The squeaky cheese curds are the way to go. Don't get me wrong, the fried ones are solid. I love me some squeaky cheese though. Can't go wrong with it. It's one of my favorite little road snacks to eat whenever I'm out chasing. I get myself a big bag of squeaky cheese curds to chew on. Keeps me rolling. Before I came out here tonight, I had a big block of cheese and crackers. That was my dinner. I just subsist entirely off of cheese, pretty much, as a true Wisconsinite does. Moon's bright out where you are. Yeah, we got a nice half moon tonight. Thankfully, it hasn't put too much of a hinder on our auroras. The only thing that has put a hinder on the auroras is that they're being stubborn right now. But give them time, and hopefully they'll strike a pose for the camera. Preferably before 10 p.m. because I don't want to be out here super late tonight. I'm not feeling a late night tonight. This week has taken it out of me. Running low on energy. This is my last little burst of energy getting out here and seeing the auroras. Can't go wrong with it. Alright, chat. We're going to play another game. We're going to place... We're going to place our guesses on what time we think the auroras are going to come out. I'm going to go with give it 30 more minutes, and I think we might get some action. I'm calling 8 o'clock is when our auroras are going to perk back up. What time do you guys think? These are just non-educated guesses, because you can't really place an exact time. They just kind of happen whenever they want. That's my guess. 8 o'clock. If we have any other guesses in chat, put them in there, and we'll see who's closest once the show gets rolling. I'm betting 7 o'clock, mainly because it takes about an hour, or about 2 hours for the auroras to get going. 2 hours, hour and a half or so between substorms, usually. And our last substorm was an hour ago at 6:30. And we haven't had anything yet. So I'm guessing another half hour and we'll get some action. If y'all have any other guesses, put them in chat and we'll see who's closest. That's going to be our next game. Yeah, it's cooled off out here too. Kind of got a nice cool breeze coming in from my back here. I'm kind of tucked behind the car right now, kind of huddling for warmth. Luckily I got a nice poofy jacket on to keep me insulated. My chan is going very specific with 8:47 p.m. and 39 seconds. Stimpy's in here. Stimpy's guessing 8:15 p.m. Sitting here in my truck with my ham radio. There's a lot of activity, but now it's dead. That'll happen once these when these substorms kind of come and go. You're gonna get these big bursts of activity, and they quiet down. One of my favorite aurora moments was, there was one night back when I first started getting into aurora chasing. I was sitting below power lines. This was during a G4 geomagnetic storm event on April 23rd, 2023. And what happened is the auroras were just going ham, and the power lines above us started humming. There's some name for the phenomenon that causes it. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it was pretty cool to witness. Just kind of sitting out there watching the lights, and all of a sudden you hear this faint buzz kind of get louder as the auroras got more active and then quiet down as the auroras went away. It's pretty neat to see. Seems like got a guess for 8:10 p.m. I think that's a solid guess. I think any guesses between the 8:30 and 8 p.m. range are kind of solid. We'll see about later, because you never know with these things. They just kind of, they go whenever they want. But I think those are all solid options. I wonder if there's any more deer wandering around in this field. When I got here, this field here was just loaded with deer. I pulled in, they all stared at me, and I shined my brights, and they all scattered. It was like, usually on my drive out here, I see a couple of deer. I was like, but I didn't see any on this drive. I was like, oh, maybe the deer are kind of quieted down for tonight. And I was like, no, they're all hanging out where I am, or where I'm going. Which is fine with me. I'd rather have them hanging out here in the middle of this field than in the road. I have bad luck with deer. One of my first aurora chases, one of my very first aurora chases on the drive back, I had a deer jump out in front of me. I had just had another car come past me, so I had to turn my brights off so I wasn't blinding them. Turned the brights back on, and boom, there he was, just jumped out right in front of the car. I was like, all right, that's a great way to end the evening. I was fine. The deer was not fine. My car was also not fine, but we were able to get it fixed up. And then last year, the same exact thing happened on that same road. So now I have a feeling that that road is cursed, and I have never gone aurora chasing over there ever since. I've been hanging out north of there, and so far I've had better luck with my deer encounters. Knock on wood. Yeah, those are my deer stories from the my aurora hunts. Chris is in here. How's it going, Chris? Good to see ya. We got the squad in chat tonight. Everyone is pulling up to see some auroras. They're quiet now, but give them time and they'll be ready to rumble. I can post earlier in chat, I posted my my tweet from right before I started the live stream. The auroras really got going. Then, of course, as soon as I get the live stream rolling, they quiet down. So I'm going to share that photo again. Aurora should be starting to get fairly active soon, starting to get some activity on my ham radio. I'd be curious to get a ham radio in my car, just to kind of, or some type of radio, just to kind of test it out. There was I forgot what it was, I had something out. It was it's not the same phenomenon, but whenever I shoot lightning, I switch my radio to its AM channel, and I find any channel that's like blank or doesn't have anything on it, or it's just like blank noise or static. And what I do is whenever I'm taking photos of lightning, whenever there's like, you're near a lightning storm, the strike sends out like a pulse, almost like an EMP, and it temporarily distorts the radio. And so you can hear how much lightning is within a storm if you switch to your AM radio. So that's kind of a cool trick that I used from being out on the road below these storms so often. Chris says, nice shot. Appreciate it, Chris. Hopefully we can get more. We had it was, as you saw in that photo, it was really going earlier, but now it's just quieted down. So it's just kind of a waiting game to see how long until things get rolling once again. Because the data is still favorable for a nice aurora event. We just have to, we need the auroras to get here. We need something to kick them into gear. So that's what we're waiting on. Should have got it home and eaten it. I'm assuming you're talking about the deer. I thought about it, but it was a doe, and does don't have a whole lot of meat on them, so I was like, bit of a waste. It would have been nice and tenderized, though. I'm sure if you had grilled that thing up, you would have seen a nice... If you were to have the ribs, grill up some deer ribs, I'm sure you would have seen the Toyota logo embedded in that thing's muscle. Alright, I'm going to head out there and check on how my time lapses are doing. So I'll be right back, guys. Time lapses quickly. I'm going to set out there my battery bank because one of the cameras is running low on fumes. So get it plugged in so it's charging nicely. We don't have a dead camera out there. Once again, I will be right back. I have this giant battery bank that's going to be put to use here. Do its duty, keep that camera running. A bit overkill for what I need it for, but get the job done. I forgot to cut the zip tie. That might be important so that I can reach the camera. Alright, where's my multi-tool? Another pro tip, if any of you guys are considering going out and trying your hand at aurora chasing, bring a multi-tool. You never know when you might need it. Case in point right now, I need to cut off the zip tie. Multi-tool is a must-have in any car. Zip tie is free. Alright, now we can charge the camera. Alright. Fix the time lapse so that it's got a nice battery bank connected to it, so it's not running out of juice. Close this door. Yeah, we're still waiting, still dialing in. Alright. See if anyone else is seeing anything. Check the Twitter here. Alright. Two-way radio operators know that when there's high electric conditions in the ionosphere, so when we have the most radio traffic. Yeah. Things are very quiet. Our magnetometer is no longer building energy at the moment. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a substorm here that kind of releases everything, or if it's going to just continue to kind of trickle like it's been doing. Because we have the conditions we need for a substorm. It just has to go. Question is, when will that happen? We're getting close to my my 8 o'clock guess, so we'll see if we're on. Take a photo with the phone cam, see if it's picking up anything. Yeah, nothing on the phone. I have a feeling if things kind of do get going again, it's going to be on the fainter side. But you never know. We had a nice one earlier. It's possible that goes again. Love seeing the low pressure working through Nebraska on the radar. Yeah, that's a good storm system out there. It's going to be working its way into Wisconsin tomorrow. We're going to have some, it's going to be a rainy day in Wisconsin this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday. Yeah, Colorado is getting hammered by that system. They're getting just tons of snow out there. I'm not looking forward to when our time for snow comes around, but can't avoid it. It's a fact of Wisconsin life. October was your last good viewing. October one was my last good one. It was solid though. That was a top 3 for me. The big October 11th event. We had me and some of my friends. My atmospheric science buddies. We were out at school doing our thing, and I caught wind that of that CME that kind of brought about those auroras, and I was like, okay, we already like to kind of get out there and see the auroras when we can. This looks like it's going to be a good one. Of course, we got to get out and see it, and so we set up not too far from this location, and the entire evening we were just kind of watching, and as the auroras were kind of building hemispheric power, like we've been talking about on stream, they were overhead, so you had this big green band. It wasn't like pillars or anything. It almost just looks like, to the naked eye, it looks like a cloud bank. But we had this big green band just sitting over us then for like 2 hours or so. And then as soon as a substorm started, it was like a switch flipped, and all of a sudden we had all these bright pillars. We had orange, red, pink, any color you can think of with the auroras. We had them. They were all overhead. It was amazing. One of the coolest things I've seen. That was my probably my top 3 aurora event on that list. That's probably number 3. Number 2 is going to be the August 11th aurora event from this year, and number 1, of course, goes to the big May 10th G5 event. That one was top for me. I'm gonna have to put my hood back on. My ears are getting chilly. Temperature's dropping for sure. Cooling down. We got the magnetometer is still just working its way down. It's kind of leveled off right now, but it's still kind of slowly got a downward trend to it. Yeah, for all the anyone new here who is in chat, what we did a little thing earlier where we placed our guesses as to what time we thought the auroras were kind of gonna come back. So my guess was 8 o'clock. We had some other guesses. We had one guess for 8:10 p.m. We had another guess, I think, for like 8:30. I think we had another one for 8:15. We had another guess for like 8:47 and 10 seconds. And we're going to play a game on whose guess is the most accurate and if the auroras will come out at the time we guess. So if you haven't placed your guesses, now's your time. My guess is coming up in 10 minutes. So hopefully my guess is right. If not, oh well. Can't win them all. You know, the May event was amazing. That's one of the aurora events that sticks out in my mind as a top of the top, because it was. You can't get much better than May 10th. That whole night, I remember I set up taking photos around like, I want to say I was out here around like 7 o'clock. I didn't go home till like 3 a.m. I was just out here all night long, and the whole night the auroras were overhead. So I was just sitting here staring straight up. And then during the first half of the May event, we had thunderstorms coming through Wisconsin. So during that event, I was able to get a time lapse of a shelf cloud with the auroras above it, which is easily my favorite time lapse I've captured this year. It's not often you get a time lapse of a big, mean, severe thunderstorm with a G5 geomagnetic storm happening above it. That was a moment that sticks out in my mind of, holy cow, I'm never going to see anything like that in my life ever again. It was just insane. Yeah, the magnetometer is still kind of leveled off. It's slowly moving down again. It's not really quickly moving down like it was earlier. It's just kind of trickling its way down. So we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna switch my screen back so I can see the camera. I have it set to the. Yeah, things are quiet right now. All is quiet on the northern sky at the moment. Hopefully, it won't be long before we get some action. Both the time lapses are still clicking away, doing their thing out there. I'm sure you can see them on the stream there. Those two lights on the bottom left. Those are my two time lapse cameras out there doing their thing. I get some water, get hydrated here. What have been my 3 tips for the stream tonight? Well, first off, we had pack an extra layer of clothes, especially in the fall here. That was my tip number 1 for aurora chasing. Just in case you get chilly, you can throw another layer on. Tip number 2, bring a multi-tool in case you need to quickly fix something on the fly. Generally, a multi-tool will get the job done. My 3rd tip for the stream tonight, bring water. Kind of a fact of life. Should be obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people forget their water bottles. Those greens are still there at the very far on the right of the screen between the 2 trees. There's other people around that are reporting kind of a pinkish hue on the horizon. I'm not seeing that right now. It's possible it might get rolling here in a little bit. Is that some green? That is some green down in there. It's not very bright, but it's there. That might be a sign that the auroral oval has kind of rebuilt some of the power that it lost during that first substorm and is kind of getting ready to push back south. Generally, that's a sign we may see a substorm, but the question is when. That's been our question the entire evening, is when will this substorm occur? Because right now things have... the data on the magnetometer that we were talking about earlier that we kind of used to kind of gauge how much energy has built up has leveled off. And generally, you either want to see it a quick, sharp spike signaling a release of energy, or you want to see it keep going down, because that means it's still building energy. So when it eventually releases, it's going to be real good. And right now, things have just kind of quieted down and leveled off. It's possible we may have had like some type of small-scale substorm occur, and we just couldn't see it. Maybe it was behind the trees or something. But if we can get a good one, we'll be in business. And we can also go, after this event is over, I can go through the time lapses that we have out in the field, and we can kind of sync it back up with the data kind of throughout the satellites throughout the night and see what happened. Yeah, those are the green hues on the horizon. That's our auroral oval. That's where it's hanging out right now. It's a bit hard to see because there is a small like town out in that direction, but it is there. That's where the oval is hiding at the moment. If you see on here, you'll go outside and look yourself. That's the way to, that's why I'm here. Be the eyes out in the field so that people don't have to spend all night out here like I'm doing. I don't mind it because I absolutely love it out here. But some people, this ain't their cup of tea. They just want to know when to go. And that's where I come in. If I'm already out here, I'll let you know kind of when to, the best time to get out and look. And as we can see right now is not the best time to get out and look because things are eerily quiet. But hopefully that quiet activity will perk up here. Recommend getting a radio similar to what I have, monitor channel 38 on lower sideband. You can get a good idea of what the propagation level is. I've looked into getting a radio in my car. I just haven't. Don't you have to have a ham radio license to be able to use one? I've looked into it. I haven't dug into it too in depth, but I have eyed radios before on getting one. The only problem is I don't really know when I'd use it outside of aurora hunting, because none of my other storm chaser friends have ham radios in their car. But I've looked into it, definitely. I would be interested in getting one. I'm gonna go check my second camera out there. I have two cameras running. I'm just gonna pan around with it and see if it's seeing anything. So I will be right back. adjust the live streaming camera too. I think we'll kind of turn more towards the northwest now. There's still a very faint kind of purple glow on the northwest horizon. It's nothing super bright. I don't even know if this camera will pick it up, but the bigger cameras out in the field are getting it on their time lapses. Might be able to boost the ISO a little bit and maybe it'll pick it up, but it's really hard to see. It's like just barely visible, but if you have a nice proper DSLR, you can pick it up. Dylan's in here. How's it going, Dylan? In Minnesota right now, couldn't make it out. You should get out and look in Minnesota. I mean, nothing's super active at the moment, but you never know. Things may perk up here as the evening goes along. Speaking of which, we are past my 8 o'clock prediction, so I'm taking the L on that prediction there. I called that at 8 o'clock we get a nice substorm to get things going again, but as we can see, that is not happening. So I think the next prediction in line was 8:10. Let's check our magnetometer. Maybe that'll give us a clue. Now the magnetometer is going down again, so that means energy is still building. So it may be another while before anything gets going, since we're still kind of building things up. For a second there, I thought I forgot the charger for the live streaming camera. I was afraid we'd have to, we were limited on our time, but I found the charging cable, so we can stay out here for as long as we want. Basically, the car is acting as a generator right now. Don't need a ham radio operator license to run a 40-channel CB radio? Alright. I may pick one up then. I know me and my friend CJ, CJ has handheld radios, and whenever we're chasing together, he gives me one of the handhelds, so when we're following behind each other, we can communicate between the cars kind of what we're seeing. Problem is when it comes time, so like, say I want to get a shot somewhere, but he's kind of going another direction, when that time comes where we kind of split off, then we can't keep in contact because the radios don't have a long enough range. But I may look into one of those. Appreciate the little tip there. Let's see what our data is looking like. It's still holding solid, kind of where it's been all evening. It's just being stubborn. Our auroras are being stubborn right now is what's going on. We have all the ingredients we need. They just gotta mix nicely. Stimpy's rolling out. Thank you for tuning in, Stimpy. Have a great evening. It's great seeing you here in chat tonight. hopefully we can get another aurora stream rolling at some point in the future, and you can join us when things are nice and action-packed. Yeah, if you guys want an example of a aurora stream where everything went just right, I can link my the August 11th event. That evening was really fun. We had just auroras all night long, and they were bright enough too where the live camera could pick them up real nicely. I'll link that one in chat if you guys want to check it out at your own time. Yeah, if any of you guys want to check out the August 11th stream, the replay of it, that's what I just put in chat. So that's an example of when things come together really perfectly and you get just a wicked aurora display. We've done streams of these kind of smaller events before, but that event was when things really mixed just right and everything was dialed in 100%. Not to say we're not locked in right now, but that evening was really fun. That's one of my favorite live streams to kind of look back on. Yeah, we have tons of energy built up. It's still building energy. It just has to let go of it. Helvetica's in here. How's it going, Helvetica? You'll have to let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm not good with names. That's something you'll learn very quickly. It takes me a minute to pronounce it right. But appreciate you tuning in. Tune into the stream tonight, where things are quiet right now. We're just kind of waiting for the auroras to get going. All of the ingredients we need for the auroras are here. They just have to mix. We need something to stir the pot. Seems like each month has had events around the state. Yeah, it's been the theme. It's like once you get into the teens, early teens, and even prior to that slightly, like we have today. Like, what was it? The 10th of May. We had the 11th and 12th of August had auroras. 12th was just kind of a weaker event where things just kind of perked up for like 5 minutes and then it was done. But still happened. There was once on there was a G4, I think that was the 18th of September, if I'm remembering my dates correctly. There was another one on there was a KP7, G3 on October 7th, I think was the date, and then there was another big G4 on the 10th, 11th of October, if I'm remembering those dates correctly. It's around those dates, but yeah, kind of once you, like, the preteen numbers of the month have been very efficient at making auroras. I pronounced it right, let's go! Usually I don't get it right the first try, so that's good. Yeah, we have a really big buildup of energy still ongoing. I can switch the stream back to the magnetometer just so that I can kind of give you guys a quick explanation of what I'm talking about so you're not lost in the weeds here. But let me get it set up here so that you guys can see. But if we go to our GOES magnetometer, this is my favorite tool when it comes to predicting kind of big aurora activity. This kind of measures how much energy is built up in our magnetosphere. And when this graph is kind of on the downward trend, that means energy is building. It's kind of, think of it like charging a battery. You're charging up the batteries of the magnetosphere. And say when you're using your phone or something, you turn your phone on, that releases energy. And when you're releasing energy, that's when you get things like light and heat and all those fun things. So kind of think of it, the metaphor here is once the batteries of the magnetosphere are full, which who knows at what point that'll happen. There's no real set value for it. It just kind of happens whenever. But once those batteries, metaphorical batteries are full, that energy is going to release. And generally, when you have these big spikes, like usually it shows up on the red graph a bit better. But like right here where we had this jump on the red graph, that was a substorm. Where we had this jump on the blue graph, that was another big substorm that happened just before the live stream started. So essentially, once you see really quick upward ticks on this graph, that means energy is releasing, and that kind of kicks our auroras into high gear. That's kind of my in the field hack to anticipating when things are going to get exciting. You can see over the past 2 hours or so, it's just kind of been on the downward trend, except for that one substorm in here. But besides that, it's been on the downward trend. That means energy is building up. So when it comes time for that energy to release, the more energy we have built up, the more exciting the auroras will be. That's kind of my on-the-fly explanation. So if any of you guys want to get into the weeds of how to anticipate that stuff, that's kind of a good loose guide that you can follow to kind of know when things are going to get exciting. What's the polarity? I'm assuming you're talking about on that graph where there's the red and the blue line. Gonna be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the red and the blue, the difference between those graphs are. All I really know is when you see the graphs go up really fast, that means something exciting is happening. That's kind of the essential knowledge that I took away from it. I am very new to the magnetometer, that tool, so I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe at some point in the future, once I kind of get dialed in with the difference between those two graphs, I can explain it a bit better, but I just know the real basic stuff about it right now in terms of the energy building and release that it measures. Yeah, we're right where we need to be for anything exciting that wants to get going. Get another tweet out here. Alright. Just getting another tweet out here quickly. negative polarity and positive polarity, a little bit like lightning. That's kind of what I figured the red and the blue meant. I'm just trying to figure out how the two negative and positive polarities kind of relate to our substorms, is what I have yet to figure out. Right now, I generally follow the red graph. That's generally the one that anticipates substorms the best. From what I found, at least for a North American observer. I don't know if it's different if you're in, say, Europe or Asia, if the blue graph will be your friend. But I just know the basics, the very bare bones basics of how to read the magnetometer. I am not an expert at it at all. I just know the essentials to get me auroras. That's all I've gotten from it. It's kind of all I need. Yeah, if you guys also, my friend Landon, he's another aurora enthusiast from Illinois. His Twitter account is full of useful knowledge on like how to anticipate auroras, how to forecast them. I kind of use, when I was first learning the aurora forecasting basics, his page was a big help for me. So I'm going to link his recent tweet below so that you guys can check out Landon's page. A little plug here to one of my Illinois brethren. He's a top of the top aurora chaser. So if you guys want he can explain a lot of this stuff better than I can. So if you guys want to get into the weeds on aurora forecasting, you should check out his Twitter page, because he's got some good stuff on there that I kind of used when I was getting into this, getting started. I wonder what some of the webcams are looking like, because there's web cameras all over that are made for aurora sightseeing. There's one in Maine that I use a lot, kind of as a guide, as kind of a rough guide to kind of what is going on, because sometimes in Wisconsin it can be a bit tricky. The farther north you go, it can be a bit easier to see kind of what they're doing, and especially with the more marginal conditions we have tonight, the web cameras up in the northern half of the country have a good eye on kind of what's going on. What we need is a substorm to push them south so we can see them. The problem is, to anticipate those substorms, we have to have eyes on the auroral oval, which unfortunately our view of it right now is very, very faint. All right, we're approaching the 8:30 time frame. Let's see if I think we had a guess for 8:30 for when things would get active, and we're approaching that time. So we'll see if our 8:30 guess was on. It also doesn't help that the one band of clouds in the entire state is sitting right where the aurora oval is, so they're going to be obscured here for a little bit, but should still, if they get active, we should still be able to see them over that band of cloud. And that band of cloud is slowly kind of working its way out of the area, so I'm not too concerned about it. There are some thicker clouds moving in. We'll kind of see what's going on once those approach, and then we'll decide what to do from there. But I'm not overly concerned about them right now. They're slow crawling clouds today, and they're at high altitudes too, so they seem closer than they actually are, just because they're so high up. So you can see them for a longer ways away. See that cloud deck bidirection? Yeah. As you can see on the satellite, there's that big surface low just hanging out over the central United States, and that's just pumping moisture up to the Midwest. So that's kind of bringing about these clouds as that low works its way in. Still a ways out, but it's close enough where we're seeing those impacts as with these high-level cirrus clouds that are working their way into the area. I think there's a raccoon rustling around in there somewhere. Hey yo, it's Alex C. Out chasing now. How's it going, Alex C? Appreciate you tuning into the stream. We're just hanging out, waiting for something to happen. That's been the theme here for the past little while. At the very start of the stream, we had some very faint reds on the horizon, but things are quiet now. We're just kind of waiting for things to get active again. It's the waiting game. That's the hard part of aurora chasing. There's a lot of waiting. Whole lot of waiting. It's not for the faint of heart to be hanging out in the middle of nowhere late at night for hours at a time. But the payoff can be huge. It's always rewarding to see it all come together. Sitting in the back roads of Milton right now, sipping on your coffee. That's the way to go. Yeah, I'm just hanging out in the middle of Ixonia, in the middle of a field, just kind of eyeing the sky, seeing what happens. We had some nice auroras earlier, but unfortunately at that time my computer decided the stream is not going to work at this very moment. At the moment where the auroras were happening, the stream said no. So I wasn't able to get the stream working until after the auroras had quieted down a little bit. But hopefully they get going again soon. At home now, watching stream on the TV. That's a way to do it. Streaming a big stream on the TV. I wish I could stream in a 4K so that it was a nice high resolution. There's the train, but wish I could stream in 4K. Problem is getting the data connection to do that is crazy. So, sticking to 1080p right now. Still good enough to get the job done. Can't believe you missed them earlier. They were quick earlier. When they kind of first got going, they were out for maybe 15 minutes and then they were gone. So it was one of those like blink and you miss it type things. I was struggling with computer problems trying to get the stream working during that time. And then I just decided. And eventually the stream got working and I was like, okay. And then of course once the stream gets working, they quiet down. What type of camera am I using? The camera I'm using to live stream is a Sony AX700. It's a kind of a prosumer camcorder. Problem is these camcorders aren't super great in low light. It does have 4K. It's just live streaming with 4K. It takes a ton of bandwidth and data, which I just don't have at the moment. And then out in the field, my two time-lapse cameras are a Sony A7R Mark II with a f2.8 14 to 24 millimeter lens from Sigma, and then the camera running next to it is sorry, just waiting for the train horn, is a Nikon D7500 with a 35 millimeter 1.8 Nikon lens on it. So that's kind of the camera setup I got rolling right now. Suppose this was just a last minute thing for me, nothing better to do tonight. That's how it was for me. I was like, the auroras are out there, I want to get out and see them. So kind of spur of the moment, packed up the car and hit the road and got out here. Even though the auroras were kind of brief earlier, it's still always fun to kind of get out into the field, hang out below the stars and just kind of observe the wilderness. Always fun. What f-stop is the lens? On the Sony camcorder that I'm live streaming with, it has a f2.8 lens. It's opened up as wide as it can go right now. The problem is it is a really, really small 1-inch sensor. So it can't, although the apertures can open up really wide, the sensor itself is limited on how much light it can take in just because it's small. So the cameras I have out in the field are a full frame and a crop sensor camera, so they can take in more light and see the auroras a bit better. At some point, I do want to upgrade this camera that I'm using to shoot video or to live stream on to something like something from like the Sony A7S line, which are video cameras specifically made for low light conditions. So that'd be something fun to add to the stream in the future. Problem is those cameras are a little pricey, so it's on the list, just not something I'm super concerned about at the moment, especially since these aurora events are they're on the sparser side compared to my storm chasing live stream. So maybe in the future it's a upgrade I'll look into, but at the moment it's not something that's high on my priority list. Just driving around is your jam. Nothing better than blasting tunes and watching the sky. That's what I was doing on the way here. I was jamming out to some Johnny Cash on the drive out here. Fortunately, I can't play the music during the stream because of the copyright issues. But if I could, we'd be having a band, like a jam out session out here. During the May Aurora event, the big May event that happened this year, this was before I started live streaming auroras. So I still did my storm chasing live streams. I just didn't get into the aurora live streaming yet. And during that one, I was just hanging out here all night long with my speaker next to me, playing my tunes, just kind of staring up at the sky, enjoying the show. It was a great evening. Couldn't go wrong with it. Ever consider using a larger telescope with a camera adapter? Problem is with telescopes is they zoom in so far, it wouldn't be practical to use them with auroras. With the northern lights, I like to get that nice wide view showing the landscape. It'd be something fun to try, maybe kind of a one-off thing, but at the moment, not really something I've looked into. Maybe in the future I'll try it out, but as of right now, I'm content with my wider shots. CJ's in here. How's it going, CJ? Good to see you in here. Yeah, the magnetometer is way down, so if something were to happen, now's the time. I hate to be that guy, but before things get going again, I do have to use the bathroom really bad. So I'm gonna mute the stream for a moment, and then I'm gonna step off to the side in the woods here and do my business, and I'll be right back. So, chat, you guys can entertain yourselves while I'm doing nature's duty, fertilizing the trees. I'll be right back. Alrighty, chat, we're back. Quick little bathroom break and we're good to go. Yeah, there's nothing creepier than wandering off into the woods in the middle of the night to take a leak. Used to chase back in the day before the technology had my pictures developed in the darkroom. I still use a film camera out on my chases. I have a big medium format film camera that I bring with me every once in a while. The May 10th auroras, I had my digital cameras rolling, but I also had that film camera running to shoot some photos on film just for fun. Those are some of my favorite film photos I've taken. I shot the solar eclipse this year. I did that on film. Yeah, film cameras are fun. I love mine. Even though it weighs 8 pounds and it's huge, the images you get out of it are some of the best of the best. Alright, chat. We're approaching the 8:47 time frame. That was another guess. So we'll see if that, right now, that 8:47 guess has the best odds out of the bunch. Your brother-in-law used a 4x6 camera for the May event. That'd be fun. I'd love to get a large format camera. The problem is those things are expensive and they're really difficult to use, the big 8x10 cameras. I've looked into them. They're way out of my price range though, and the film for them and developing the film is crazy expensive. So maybe a future endeavor, but at the moment, not on my list. If I were to do large format, I'd probably rent the camera. It'd probably be a one-off thing. Medium format is, I think, as high as I'll go. Alright, I'm gonna go check on our time lapses out in the field. So once again, I'll be right back. I wish I had my wireless microphone with me so that you guys could hear me out there, but I blundered today and forgot them at the dorm. So we're rocking with just the built-in camera audio. So I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Problem is, it's behind that one cloud. So hopefully if we get a substorm, it can kind of overcome that. But that one cloud is blocking us right now. You can kind of see the green kind of hanging below it between the trees. That's what we're kind of eyeing right now. So we'll see what happens. See what we get. He's put some serious money into his large format equipment. Yeah, that large format, those large format cameras are no joke. They are crazy. I would be too scared to use one. I'm not precise enough for large format. I'd take a photo and I realize, oh, it's off like the tiniest bit, and I will have wasted a sheet of film. Although it would be fun to use. I'd love to use large format for the auroras. That'd be really fun. Medium format with the auroras was a whole lot of fun. Large format would be insane. Maybe that's what we'll do in the future. We'll rent a large format camera and shoot some auroras on it. Dr. Evans is in here. How's it going? Won a snowstorm chase in Colorado. It's ripping pretty good out there. I wish I could be out in Colorado. I saw the, I believe my friend Max is out there right now chasing the snowstorm. He's got some good stuff. But I was looking at it this morning. I was like, y'all are getting dumped on out there. As much as I would love to be out there, I do not miss the snow. So I think I'm going to pass on the snowstorm chases for a little bit longer. Once we get into December, I'll start considering them. I'm still got my fingers crossed for the, for one more round of maybe a cold core severe weather event. Although those guys are few and far between. And they're tricky. But thank you for tuning in, Dr. Evans. Appreciate it. Yeah, for you guys who don't know, Dr. Evans is the an atmospheric science mastermind. We did a live talk earlier this year about the May 21st tornado outbreak, and we kind of compared and contrast. He was part of the spring forecast experiment with NOAA, and we compared and contrast kind of the new forecasting models that were being tested, and then compared it with the real stuff, showing side by side my chase footage and what the new models were saying. So if y'all want to check that out, that is on the channel, the replay of that stream. Whole lot of fun. Pretty wicked little storm over here a few days ago. Yeah, we had some decent local events. They were kind of ones that you look at the parameter space and you're like, okay, you might get something interesting out of it. A little mesoscale accident there, but things just didn't pan out for the storm chasers here in Wisconsin for those events. There was 2 events like the past 2 weeks where we had strong cold fronts come through, and there were just tons of low-level shear right at the surface for those cold fronts to feed off of with really, really low storm bases. Problem is there was no instability. So me and my friend CJ chased one of those days, and we had a nice kind of mini supercell for a little bit with a nice lowered base, but within like 15 minutes it got undercut by the cold front. It didn't have any instability, so it just completely fizzled. Fun local event though. One of those days where you get out and you're like, okay, you might get a little something. You might get lucky if you roll the dice and play your cards just right. Mother Nature might serve you something up, but didn't pan out for those ones. Levi's back. Good to see you back in here, Levi. Yeah, once again, I said it at the start of the stream, but I'm going to say it again. Levi is the up-and-comer live streamer with severe weather coverage. Future storm chaser, future meteorologist. Definitely worth checking out Levi's channel. He's got some great stuff on there. He's going to go a long ways. Hop on the train early, because when Levi's channel takes off, it's gonna be over for all of us. He's gonna be the man. I need to find my water bottle. My water bottle's gone missing. I found it sitting under my car seat. I'm gonna check out our magnetometer, see what it's doing. It's still going down. We are still building energy in the magnetosphere. Just waiting for something to give us a nice substorm. I'm hoping that one cloud hanging out there does not block our view when things do get going. I think it'll be just enough where we should be able to see over it, but we need that cloud to get out of here. I think we need to give that cloud a name. He's been with us the whole stream. It seems like kind of slowly working its way. If you guys have any suggestions for our interrupting cloud out there, put them in chat. We'll come up with a name for him. I'm going to turn the camera this way a little bit so you guys can kind of see it when I'm looking at it a bit better. Like kind of between those trees. It looks like there's that green poking out there that we always look for. Kind of shows the signs that something's brewing. McFluffles the cloud. Cloudy McCloud face. Good options, good options. I'm digging McFluffles the cloud. I think that's a creative one. We'll see if we get any other suggestions to name our little cloud friend who's hindering our view. That's how it usually goes aurora chasing in Wisconsin this time of year. You get all set up. You're in your spot, and then there's that, you always get that one kind of bowling ball of a surface low working its way across the plains that kind of feeds in those high-level cirrus. And of course, there's always that one cirrus cloud that parks right in front of your view. Good thing about shooting auroras this time of year, as opposed to in the summertime or in the spring, is there's no mosquitoes. The geese out there are going nuts. Or unless someone's doing some burnies. Doing some burnouts on these farm roads. But yeah, the last time I shot auroras at this location was the August 11th event. And of course that day was like 80 degrees with crazy humidity. And the bugs were going nuts. It had just rained a few days before. So that whole night we were just getting eaten alive out here. I remember I opened up my car door the next day because to power the live stream I have to leave the car running so I have enough so the outlets stay on and it's not draining the battery. But the next day I opened my car door and just a swarm of mosquitoes just flew out of the car. They had all kind of worked their way in there throughout the night as we were opening the door and getting our camera gear out. That was that event was fun. The mosquitoes were not. Superior Video and Photography Live, heading out to watch some TV. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And hopefully we'll see you on another stream soon. Appreciate you coming in here and chatting with us tonight. Alrighty, y'all. We're gonna check on our magnetometer once again. Check in on what it's doing, what it's thinking, because it's still just that downward trend is continuing, which is a good sign that we have plenty of energy built up for our substorm. But as has been the case this entire stream, it's just waiting for when it's gonna give. If I can switch back here again, you can still see that our magnetometer, those graphs that we kind of use to anticipate these substorms, they're still on the downward trend. They've kind of leveled off again, so maybe something's brewing out there, but they've just been going down. I think if we zoom way out to the 7 day, you can see it's real low right now. So that's a good sign that we have the energy we needed built up to get a good substorm going. We just need it to release, to get things kicked into gear. And we know the auroras are there. We've gotten photos of them. We've seen them throughout the night tonight. We're just kind of waiting for them to do something interesting. Is the name of the game. Waiting for something interesting to happen. Yeah, seems like at any moment, that's what it seems like. Like on my, on this camera and on the other cameras out here, you can see the auroral oval behind that cloud bank. So we know they're there. They just have to do their thing. It's like at any second now, something's gonna happen. And the anticipation is high right now. We're waiting for this to get rolling. And I'm going to have a fun time sorting through all these photos of nothing that we've been shooting for the past hour. We had some activity at the very start, and then there's been 2 hours in between of quiet. And also all the predictions that we had in chat have been wrong. My prediction was wrong. The latest prediction that we had, which was 8:47, was wrong. We were all wrong tonight on our timing for when the substorm would happen. All of our guesses were incorrect. We all got Fs. Yeah, data is favorable. I mean, all the ingredients we need are still here. It's just waiting for it to happen. It's the waiting game. Good thing though is that it's only 9 o'clock, so it's not super late. There are some days where I'm sitting out here till like 1 a.m. just waiting for something to happen. And then of course, by that point I'm exhausted and just want to go home, so I throw in the towel and I lay in bed. I check my phone the next morning, and of course at like 1:15, like right as I'm falling asleep, is when everything gets going. We're not doing that tonight, not missing it. We already got it once, we know it's there, we know it can happen again. The Milky Way's pretty though. From where I'm sitting, taking my photos, you can see the, well, can't see it on this camera, but we have some nice, you can see the Milky Way core overhead. It's not super bright because we're still kind of near some towns, but cool to see. I want to go out there and check my time lapses, but I don't want to like interrupt them just in case something interesting starts happening, and then I have like a weird jump between my time lapses because I was messing with the camera. So I'm just going to leave them to do their thing. Not messing with it. let those cameras sit and snap away. Taking pictures of a storm a few days ago, almost got hit by lightning. I wish we had lightning down here recently. We've had a thunderstorm exodus. It's that time of year where thunderstorms are done. It's just kind of dreary stratiform rain events. And this hasn't happened yet, but snow is on the horizon. That is the reality we have to face in November. As much as I want to ignore it, it's only a matter of time before the first flakes fall. So, I think as of right now, thunderstorm activity in Wisconsin is pretty much kaput. Dunzo. We'll see if that trend continues, because sometimes you get the oddball late season thunderstorm, but alright, that one band of clouds is starting to move far enough away where we can kind of see around it again. So, I think if things do get going, we should be able to see it nicely. Also, at some point, I am going to have to plug this live streaming camera into a charger, because it's running, still got half battery left, and it's been going for 2 hours now. But at some point soon, I'm going to plug it in. Yeah, the aurora oval has kind of shifted more to the northwest now. So if anything were to happen, it would probably be like straight in front of us, beyond that grove of trees. Maybe a little farther to the left too. Yeah, we've had 3 cameras snapping away this whole evening, so if anything happens, we'll have it. We've got all the cameras in the world out here. I would love to be up north right now, up in far northern Wisconsin. I'm sure they have a great view up there. At some point this year, I do want to try to do an aurora live stream from somewhere like Door County or Minocqua, way up there. One of those spots. Those would be fun to try to get some photos from. It's on my bucket list, a far northern trek to get the northern lights. At some point in the way distant future, I do want to do a Alaska trip. Because, I mean, any day in Alaska above like a KP2, you're seeing them. Even at KP2, you can still see them on the distant horizon. And even KP2 is kind of sparse. Usually the KP index hangs out typically around a 3. maybe a 4, depending on how things are going. Yeah, Alaska aurora chasing has always been on the list for me. Especially if you can get favorable conditions to kind of get in the cloud shadows with the mountains. Those mountains will kind of act like a break, so you have like a big cloud bank moving towards this one side of the mountain, but you're on the opposite side, it'll kind of break up the cloud for you so you can kind of see through it. That's a strategy for aurora chasing in Alaska, is playing the cloud shadows. Alright, we're going to turn this camera this way a little bit. Also point it up slightly. Yeah, they're still out there. The auroral oval is still hanging out just on the horizon there. It's hard to see because, of course, our friendly cloud is still blocking our view slightly, but they're there. Yeah, we have more kind of high-level stratus kind of working their way in, but we still have plenty of time where they're not going to be a whole lot of an issue yet. I made the right call wearing winter boots out here. It is chilly. I was out the door, I was deciding between throwing on my tennis shoes or throwing on some boots. Boots was the right call, because it is a bit brisk out here. Close out some of these tabs on my browser here. All right. I may run out there and grab the battery bank so we can plug this camera in. So I will be right back. Rolling off into the field. Still out there. They're kind of hanging out high above the horizon as a faint purple band now. They've moved farther south. It's really faint. This camera can't pick it up very well, but they are out there. If we have a substorm, we'll be able to see it clearly. They're very faintly there, incredibly faint. Only the long exposure cameras out there are seeing them. But they're there. Sorry, I was kind of neglecting chat for a second. Is Ixonia by Watertown? Yeah, that's kind of the general area where Ixonia's at. I saw the Aurora Borealis on October 10th. October 10th was a top 3 Aurora event for me. It was awesome. It's cold out there. I can see pillars of green now to the northwest. Yeah, that's probably what I was just seeing out there. They're kind of getting more active. I'm wondering if we're seeing the first signs of a substorm starting to happen out there. I mean, they're still faint from here, but the long exposure cameras out in the field are seeing them. Or they're seeing them better than they were earlier. plugging in this camera for a little while just to keep that battery nice and charged. Doesn't help that it's a little chilly out here, but oh well. There we go. Charge up this camera for a little bit. Over near Jackson County, I'm really bad with counties, so you're gonna have to give me some type of like name just so I can recognize it. Or like a nearby, or kind of like the general location. Isn't that up in like, I want to say that's up in like northwest Wisconsin, right? Thankfully, our cloud friend has cleared the way so that when we get our substorm, we'll be able to see it better. Peachy Loves is back. How's it going, Peachy Loves? Good to see you back in chat. Not a whole lot has changed since you left. We're still just playing the waiting game right now. But the auroras have moved farther south. That's generally a sign that something's brewing out there. We're just kind of waiting for things to come together. We're kind of playing these high-level cirrus clouds too. We're kind of in a patch where we're not in the super dense cloud cover right now. But once these thicker clouds move in, probably call the stream. Maybe even after we get the substorm too, because it is late. Past my bedtime for sure. But no, we'll be out here for a while, at least until things get exciting. North of Tomaha? Okay. I kind of know the general area up there. Kind of in the area between La Crosse and Eau Claire. That kind of west-northwest section of the state. Yeah, I'm sure you can see them up there better than I can. Further north, and also this one cloud isn't in your way. I'm gonna check our webcams again. Just to take a gander what's going on further north. Let's see. Yeah, they're still just kind of holding steady. No substorm yet, but I have a feeling we're going to see some soon. If we're not seeing a substorm before 10 o'clock, I'm going to be surprised. I would think that by that time frame we'd get something. My Chan is up by Baraboo. I'm sure you're seeing them pretty good up there too. Baraboo is one of my favorite spots in the state. Me and my friends, every year we take a nice long day trip to like hike around up there near like Devil's Lake and all the state parks around that area. I would love to do an aurora hunt at Devil's Lake. My photographer buddy, who's also named Charlie, he did one up there a couple years back, and the photos he got were insane. So at some point in the future, I do want to do a Devil's Lake aurora expedition. Maybe at some point later this year we can do that, but that's for a future day. Certainly a gorgeous area, absolutely. This may be a hot take, but that's like my favorite spot in the entire state when it comes to the hiking scene. There's tons of little trails out there that you can get lost in, just kind of explore around. Always fun, something fun to do out on those trails, something fun to find. Crafter's in here. How's it going, Crafter? Good to see ya. We've been treated so well this year. Haven't seen the Northern Lights until this year. We have been spoiled with the Northern Lights this year. It has been absolutely insane with the stuff we've got. I mean, we had the big May event, the G5, first G5 since 2003. We had several G4 events, a couple G3s sprinkled in there. So we've had tons of opportunities to see the Northern Lights in Wisconsin this year. It's been a good year. The harvest has been bountiful. Hopefully tonight we can add another good event to the list. It's already been a decent event early on, but it's quiet now. Starting to see some like faint reds on the phone camera. It's really faint, but there's something out there. A little bit of a reddish hue. I don't know if this camera is picking it up super well, but it's there. Maybe if things can get rolling here, that might be our first sign that something's on the way. Yeah, the phone camera has a really like faint red tinge just beyond that grove of trees. So I'm wondering if something's brewing out there. Maybe we finally have the substorm we've been oh so patient about, or maybe it's just kind of a one-off little blip. Sometimes that happens where you get kind of a quick little jolt of activity for like a minute, where you have one little pillar that ignites instead of a big substorm like we're hoping for. But at least we know it's there. That's a good sign. I'm sure it may become visible on the live stream soon, but there's some red out there. And you can still clearly see those greens on the horizon too, so it's out there. Interesting to see if that brightens up at all over the next little bit. Okay, I think it's definitely getting brighter. We may have our substorm here. Can't see it on this camera yet, but there's definitely some red straight out in the field, straight in front of us, and it's slowly been getting brighter. I'm going to point the camera this way so it's a little bit pointing more towards it, but there's something going on out there. I'm sure the time-lapse cameras have a better look at it, but there's something. There's something out there. Our first signs of activity. It's really faint, but it's a good indicator. I'll tweet it out here quickly and then link the tweet so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Let me get my my tweet out, and then I'll link it in chat so that you guys can see what the phone is seeing. Alrighty guys, in this tweet, in the photo attached to it, you can kind of see those reds on that near the tree line on the left side of the image there. That's kind of our first indicator that something may be going on. We'll have to see how it evolves over the next little while, but it's a promising sign. We know that they're there, and we know that they're close enough where we can kind of get photos of them. Obviously it's still pretty quiet, still pretty faint, but it's better than no signs at all. Levi's back. Gonna have to go to bed soon. Yeah, it's late. I'm probably gonna catch this substorm if it ever comes around, and that's probably gonna be the end for me. Just want to get one good round of auroras in. It's just kind of a waiting game right now, though. But Levi, I appreciate you tuning in. All you guys watching the stream right now should go subscribe to Levi's channel. He is an up-and-coming storm chaser meteorologist. He has some great stuff, great severe weather live streams. Definitely worth checking out. Watching from Sudbury, Ontario, in the middle of a field. Ontario is probably getting a good view right now, way up north. I've seen a couple photos kind of bubbling in from that area. Yeah, this substorm just continues to build. If we can get a nice release here, it'll probably be pretty good. It's just once again the waiting game. The never-ending Northern Lights waiting game. I should have brought a lawn chair out here. Sit down for a little while. That would have been the way to go. I sit on the kind of the doorstep here. Hopefully without sitting on any of these cables. Just gonna tone down the brightness a little here. We're sitting in the car for a little while. Gonna warm up a little bit because it is a little chilly out there. But I'll leave the door open just enough so that you guys can hear me. Nice bit of green to the naked eye. Yeah, we still have some of that faint green here. The camera can see it a little bit, kind of on the very tip of the tree line. Seen the auroras one time with a SAR arc. Super sick with a 103-degree fever. Dang, bro. Bro was out there. I would have sat that one out and be like, you know what? The fever wins this round. Got to get the full experience sometime soon. Absolutely. We'll have plenty of chances to get it here eventually. Throughout the next couple of years as the peak of this solar cycle kind of works its way through. The grind never stops, absolutely. Only way you're gonna get to see these things is if you grind a little bit for them. No one ever said it's gonna come easy. Responded to my tweet with what you can see so far. We'll take a look. Yeah, you guys have a better view up there than I do. We're kind of sitting and waiting down here. Waiting for a substorm to push these way south. Wish you could send pictures on the YouTube chat. Got some great shots in Middleton, Tennessee on October 10th. October 10th was a top tier. It's one of my favorite days. I'm sure there was some great stuff from out there. Seems like everywhere had great views of it. Come on, Mr. Substorm. I'm surprised we haven't gotten one yet. It's been so long. I think right now would be the time where if we were to get one, it would happen, but not yet. Still got to be a little more patient. Auroras are not feeling it. I'm gonna have to plug my phone in for a little bit. Running low on juice. Alright, let's do some battery switcheroo here. Everything stays nice and charged. Camera. I think we might have lost our camera. 1 second. Alright, camera should be back. The streaming software did not like the battery switch up. Should be all good now. Yeah, Levi, like you said, there should be, we're kind of getting to that time where pretty much at any moment now we could get a substorm. It's just a matter of waiting. Playing the waiting game. You can kind of see some of those reds starting to perk up a bit more too. Maybe we're finally getting somewhere. James is in here. How's it going, James? Good to see you. Glad you can make it out to the stream tonight. We're waiting on our substorm. I have a feeling we're going to get one at any moment now. It's been a long waiting game. We've been streaming. We've been live since what, like 7 o'clock? So we've been out here for a while, and I think at any point now, she's ready to give it up to us. Got all of our cameras locked in, ready to rumble. It's just gotta give us the goods. Yeah, on the phone, there's starting to be some more reds becoming visible. Wish it wasn't so foggy. I wish we didn't have this out here in Wisconsin land. We have this one cloud hanging on the horizon there. You can see it like between those two trees. That's like the only cloud in my area right now. And of course, it's sitting right where the auroral oval is. But it's slowly been working its way out throughout the evening. I have a feeling it's not going to be too much of a hindrance once things get going. I've just been eyeing the magnetometer for that snap that we're waiting for. That kind of signals the start of the substorm. And still hasn't gotten there. It's close, but not quite. We've had lots of like little, very minute surges of activity where it's like blink and you'll miss it, where you'll have like the faintest red band on the far northern horizon. That's there for like 2 minutes and then it fades out. Haven't had anything super eventful just yet, but hopefully that's will change soon. I'm gonna go get the big battery bank from the field. Coyotes are having a time out there. You can hear them howling in the distance. Coyotes are having a party. Sounds like. I'm sure if you listen closely, you might be able to hear them. I don't know how well you can hear them over the car, but they are going nuts. Howling away. Alright, I'm going to put this battery bank in the car to warm up a little bit. It's sitting in the dew. It's not very warm outside tonight. That's for sure. It's warm up. Plug it in and get some juice feeding into this thing. Plug this camera back in. Yeah, that battery bank did not like the cold out there. Just had a weird glitch with the output display. Said it was outputting 200 watts, which is not right. It's putting out like 10. If that battery was putting out 200 watts, we'd have big problems. Stepdad and I have a theory that coyotes can sense the substorms before they hit. Hear them a lot when we were out aurora chasing. Yeah, I've kind of noticed that too. I haven't really I don't know, I haven't paid too much attention to the coyotes and the timing between substorms. I wouldn't be surprised though if there's something to it. I mean, during May 10th, the big aurora display, the entire night, the coyotes were going crazy. Same thing with August 11th, this past summer, another big aurora event. Same thing, the coyotes were going wild the entire time. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something to that. I kind of want to look into it. If the coyotes know the substorms are coming. Watch that, as soon as the coyotes go, the substorm hits, that'd be crazy. I don't know, there's still the signs that something's coming. Again, we've been saying that for the past 2 hours. It's just a matter of waiting. Playing the waiting game. That's how it is tonight. excited to look back at the time lapses we've got from tonight. Kind of stitch it all together. I mean, the auroras have been there pretty much the entire night. They just haven't been active. Is chilly. Chilly, chilly, chilly. It has really cooled off. Especially doesn't help that some of the dew has set in. We have like water condensation on everything. Oh, I think we have our substorm. I see really big pillars starting to perk up. I think we have our event, guys. Here we go. Oh yes, big substorm right now. Substorm right here. Here we go, guys. It's about to get real. It's about to go crazy. Here we go, everyone. We have our substorm. It's hard to see on this camera, but it's happening. If you want to see the auroras, now's your chance. Big time substorm starting here. Here we go, everyone. You can kind of see those pillars. I'm gonna post my my tweet in the comments so you guys can see kind of what it looks like to a low light camera. But we have our substorm. Here we go. This is it right here. Here we go, guys. This is where it gets interesting. This is where the fun begins. Whole sky is turning red. That is crazy. Wow. I hope you guys can see that on this camera, but the whole sky is lit up red, purple right now. It's nuts. I have the ISO up as high as I can. You can kind of see those faint reds up on the high part of the screen there. But holy cow, that is nuts. I'm gonna have to get a photo of myself in front of this thing. Where's my self-timer? Wow, that is crazy. Big time substorm, big time. It is getting nuts out there. Chat, this is it. This is our substorm that we've been waiting all night for. You can see these big red pillars starting to perk up. Wow, that is wild. The whole sky is red right now. That is nuts. Holy cow. That is insane. Holy cow. Starting to become visible, the reds to the naked eye. Absolutely wild. Absolutely incredible. Wow. That is nuts. Holy cow. Absolutely insane. Wow. Wow. I hope you guys are seeing this on the stream right now, because this is wild. Here's our substorm. Big time red auroras. Brandon's in here. How's it going, Brandon? Good to see you. Think you'll be able to see it from Cuba? I think that might be a stretch. You can get out and try it though. Let me know the results, because I am curious. It's good to see you in here. Amanda Bailey, is it overhead or just on the horizon? It is on the very high horizon. So you're going to be looking up at it. It's not overhead, but it's really high up. I mean, the camera's pointed pretty high up right now to get it. Wow. Is it done just like that, or is it still going? No, it's still rolling. Woohoo! That's beautiful. Wow. Absolutely insane. Incredible reds. It is going nuts out there. Clouds in just the wrong spot from Chicago. Don't worry, there'll be other chances throughout the year. This is not going to be our only aurora event. We are at the very peak of a solar cycle. We'll have plenty of opportunities. Don't fret if you miss this one. There's going to be much bigger displays in the distant future. Oh, man, that's insane. I had to get a quick photo of myself in front of this. It didn't even turn out. Oh well. Oh, wow. That was pretty good. Woo! Okay. I don't want the flash on anymore. Turn off the timer. Turn off the 10-second timer. We don't need it. Man, absolutely unreal. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. Sorry, I'm completely geeking out right now, chat, but it's hard not to get excited about this stuff. It is unbelievable. Wow. Brandon, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it, man. Good luck to you, too. Hopefully you, I know Cuba's a bit of a stretch, but you never know. You might get lucky. Yeah, well worth the wait. Incredible reds, pinks. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to turn the camera a little bit so that it's back in. It's kind of wandered off this direction now, but wow, was that something? Holy cow. That was crazy. That was a great substorm. Wow. I'm going to let those time lapses continue rolling for a while. In Waukesha, can't see much, maybe the light pollution. Yeah, that'll do it. The auroras are faint tonight, so you kind of got to get away from the city to see them. But once you get out into the countryside, and you if you have like a nice, a modern phone that has like a night mode or something on it to take photos, you'll be able to clearly see where it is. But man, that was awesome. We did it, chat. We got our substorm live on stream. Awesome. That was crazy. Wow. Yeah, chat, if you guys like that substorm, you should also like and subscribe to the channel. All I'm saying. If you guys want to see more of this, that makes it happen. Your guys' support is the reason why we're out here tonight. Man, it's still going. It's not as like vibrant as it was, and you don't have the pillars as much anymore, but there's still a deep red glow on the horizon there. It's wild. Absolutely crazy. Man, that was something. That was awesome. Yeah, called it. My first prediction of 8 p.m. was wrong. My second prediction saying if we don't have something by 10 p.m., I'm going to be surprised, was spot on. 10 p.m., bam, giant substorm. Wow. That was pretty good. The dark reds, yeah. My favorite part of the auroras in the mid-latitudes are these deep reds that you get with them. Absolutely awesome. Man, that was crazy. I'm just like coming down from my adrenaline high right now. That was awesome. Man, it's still going. It's not bright, like super bright anymore, but you can still, if you use the night mode on your, say if you have like an iPhone or something that has the night mode, you can still see those reds just kind of bubbling up on the horizon there. Absolutely awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That was pretty good. That was amazing. I mean, it's quiet now, but man, that was great. You can hear the deer thumping around out there. My time lapses out there are still doing their thing, snapping away. I have another time lapse next to me that's kind of shooting like a behind the scenes, couple context photos. Still doing its thing, snapping away. Sure, it's kind of running on fumes by this point, but still getting a nice wide shot. I'm gonna give it a little bit to kind of let these this substorm simmer down, and then we have clouds moving in, so that'll probably be the end of the stream for tonight. Once this kind of quiets down and my time lapses out there can wrap up their photos. Man, that was great. Wow. That was a great shot. Yeah, things have pretty much quieted down now. Not a whole lot going on out there anymore. But man, still amazing to see. I've seen the auroras probably well over 30 times now, and every single time it just has me in awe. It's just amazing to see, especially from southern Wisconsin. You know, I know it's been a more common thing now that we're on Solar Max and everyone has a low light camera in their pocket all of a sudden, where they can just kind of get out and see these things. But it's still really cool to see every single time. It's amazing. Think those people in that airplane up there have any idea what's going on just to their north? There was a shooting star off to the right too. Wow. Man, that was cool. That was really cool. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. And those reds are still going. They're kind of fading out now, but that was really good. Alrighty, chat. I think with that, we're going to close things out for tonight. I want to thank all of you for tuning into the stream today. Hopefully you guys got out there and kind of saw the stream. We're like, oh, the auroras are going on. I'm going to get out and look. And we're able to get out there and enjoy one of the greatest light shows our planet has to offer. I want to thank all of our channel members for their support throughout the this kind of lull in activity. I know it's been a little while since I've posted anything like long form, but I'm glad we got to get out here tonight and enjoy the show. And once again, not only thank you to the channel members for helping to keep this kind of stuff running, but also thank you for tuning in tonight, the general audience. Channel members, of course, always get first dibs on whatever photos, time lapses I get. So if you want to see what I captured tonight before the rest of the world, head down there and consider becoming a channel member. Supports the streams, makes these possible, and it's always greatly appreciated. But with that, it is going to be time to close out for tonight. So I'm going to pull up chat and kind of get our final messages in here, our final goodbyes. But man, that was really cool. It's always super cool to see them, but that was a good one. Really deep reds, incredible greens kind of along the horizon with the pillars working their way across. That was a good one. All right, y'all. I want to once again thank you all for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate all your guys' support. And yeah, we'll be back again soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get more aurora opportunities in the near future so that we can get out here and enjoy one of the most incredible things our planet has to offer. One of my favorite natural phenomena to chase down right beside tornadoes is the northern lights. So, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all have a great evening tonight. Hope you all have a great weekend. Stay warm and stay dry with those rain showers moving in tomorrow and Sunday. And we'll be back again soon.